The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The Lethbridge Bullhorn is all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spit Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls Baseball Report.
All right, the Bullhorn Lethbridge Bulls baseball report coming at you from Spit Stadium here in Lethbridge, Alberta. We are up on Rogers TV as well as the Bulls YouTube channel as well, and everywhere you get your podcast, just check us out there. Subscribe and don't miss out on any Bullhorn action that's coming out for all the latest news coming across the Lethbridge Bulls and baseball around Lethbridge. Actually, some pretty cool stuff happening here at Spit Stadium as we speak. They're doing some little decoration, little cosmetics on the building right now. So you might want to, if you're in Lethbridge and surrounding area, on whenever you listen to this or see this, you might take a swing by Spit Stadium to see some of the new additions we have here to the stadium. It looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Anyways, today's Bullhorn is going to be a great interview I did earlier with Max Benton. Max, he's been keeping a secret from us all these years. He's been around Lethbridge, been around here for he pitched 3 years for the Bulls. Took off to summer to pitch in the West Coast League last year. We'll talk about all that. But Max, one of the really good guys, helped out around the fields when he was here in Lethbridge. Just a really upstanding kid. Just got it going on. Always a smile, always a laugh. Not a man of many words. He's kind of got out of his shell a little bit, which was good to hear, because a podcast or a video interview and a guy doesn't talk very much doesn't go anywhere, obviously. But it was good to catch up with Max and discuss his days playing minor baseball in Prince Edward Island, and how we got to Oyen and on the rest of the Bulls, and now how he's going to be coming back here and what he's looking forward to playing at WCBL. It was a good talk with Max for sure. Talking about his old teammates and the old coaches here at PBA as well. So it was a good conversation I had with Max. And to no much further ado, here is my conversation with Mr. Max Benton. Next up on the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls baseball report. No stranger to Lethbridge Bulls baseball and the fans up here in Lethbridge. Also to people who watch the PBA and follow the PBA here in Lethbridge and right across Canada, actually. TCBC All Conference Pitch of the Year 2023, and all the accolades go around it. Former Lethbridge Bull, took a year off from playing up here. Going to come back to 2025 Lethbridge Bulls WCBL season. Max Benton, otherwise known as something I didn't know about this, David the Third Benton. David or Max, David, I guess I gotta call you. What's you kind of kept that a secret from me. What's up with that, man?
Yeah, so that's just being named after my grandfather, and my father was named after my grandfather, so that kind of started like a hierarchical thing in my family. And everybody went by their middle name, and just one of those things I learned later in life, that it's like, you got to start signing your government stuff David Benton III. And I said, I don't know why. Me being 11 years old. And they're like, your real name's David. And I was like, are you kidding me? No way. I thought I was Max. And that was one of the culture shocks I got growing up. So
You must have liked that. I know, like pitchers. I know I don't want to hack on pitchers, but you must have liked that 3-letter thing being a pitcher. 3 letters, good. I'm good. I'm Max. That's it. That's all I need to do. Yeah. Max, everyone has a story on how they got to where they are in the baseball world. You're in college baseball now, and I don't know if you dreamt of this when you were a kid, but tell us a little about youth baseball out there in Prince Edward Island and how you ended up where you're at today.
Yeah, pretty normal start. Started with the t-ball. I was into hockey a little bit and boxing, just kind of doing it all, trying to have fun growing up. And then got to the point where it was just, I fell in love with baseball, and I went off from there. Played in a year-round academy. It was called Eastern Baseball Academy. And once that finished up, and I was kind of grade 10, had an offer to go to Badlands Baseball Academy in Oyen. And we're really looking forward to going back there for the real roots game there. And now I'm been playing I played for the Bulls for 3 seasons and 2 years at Prairie Baseball Academy, and now I'm at William Woods in Missouri, and like you said, going back to the Bulls for 25.
The going from PEI out to Oyen, Alberta, like you said, home of the 2025 Rural Roots Classic out there in Oyen. And if you want you to pencil in the starting game there, we could probably do that right now if you want.
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do for you there.
Uh,
I'll talk to Josh right after we're done here. But like you go from PEI out to the big smoke in the big city of Oyen, Alberta.
oh
When you
yeah.
first got out there, did you say like you must have went on a visit prior too? I'm assuming. No.
No, no. It was
Oh
just
boy.
it was word of mouth. Like what happened at the time was like you put a YouTube video out on my behalf. Eastern Baseball Academy put a video out, and I was open to doing that side of high school baseball in the academy and stuff like that. And just got a random Facebook message one day and said, "Hi, I'm Elliot Shrive, pitching coach for the Badlands Badgers, and we want to recruit you for the upcoming season." And I hopped on the phone, talked to him for about 30, 45 minutes, kind of ran it down with my parents and said, "Hey, let's do it. It's better than PEI."
That's gotta like and once you get out there, like did you drive? Did your parents drive you out there? How did did you fly out? What was the whole deal? And then like when you first laid eyes on Oyen, did you go like I know you're from a small town as well, but when you get to Oyen, you must have looked around like what the heck is going on here? Because it's not a big and it's a great little town. It is,
Yeah,
but it's 900 people and it's a small Alberta town. So what did you think? Like what did I sign myself up for?
a little bit. I know we flew out about a 4-hour drive from PEI. We rented a van. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my grandmother, my sister, kind of thing. Just everybody was pretty excited to see a guy get off the rock for a change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we got out there, took the Google Maps fastest route. And when I tell you, we hit gravel for about a good 2 hours. That's when I started regretting my decision. I didn't
Yeah,
know
because
where I was.
everybody in Alberta is always got a back road somewhere, another road here. They're like, "What the heck is going on here?" But it must turn out okay for you. 'Cause you advance your career from there, and who knows what could have happened if you would stayed out in PEI. 'Cause you just never know. You
Yeah.
got to take advantage of when you get it. I talked with who was it the other day, Levi, and we were talking about the COVID situation that he went through when he was in Vauxhall, and it was such a weird thing that was going on. And we're not getting political by any means. Like whatever you believe, that's your own prerogative. But the rules were the rules, just what it was. And what was the after all the COVID stuff was done, or actually talks about like in the COVID stuff because that was when you were in basically the real prime of your development years. How did you get through it? Like first to get us through that, get us into that, and then how you got through it.
So it started out, I was in Douglas College in the NWAC conference out in British Columbia. And we were down in Arizona actually when the borders closed for spring training tournament in March. And we got down there and roll up to the field one day, and everybody kind of knew that there was this new sickness going around. It was flu-like, and we just kind of played it off because we're a bunch of college baseball players. What does our science opinion really matter, right? So we're just playing ball, doing the thing, and then one guy on the other team said, "Yeah, we can't play today. We got COVID." And we're all just kind of sitting there like, "Oh, well, we don't know what to do." So we ended up practicing for 6 hours that day because no one would play us because everybody was scared about the virus.
Yeah.
So that happened. We got quarantined for a little bit, flew back, kind of fast forward. Just administration said, "Yeah, we're canceling everything. Everything's shutting down. The rules are the rules." And then I went back to Saskatchewan, had a friendship there from a guy at Badlands actually, and we're kind of just really good friends growing up, growing through the baseball academy, working out, throwing, all that stuff. Lived with him for a little bit, staying active, got a job, just kind of working, all that fun stuff. And then finally got around to getting a new school after it was the 2-year hiatus kind of thing. Douglas College was kind of hemming and on, opening back up. And they kind of just finally said, "We're not going to open back up." And I said, "Well, can't really afford the move back there if I'm not going to be playing baseball just for school." And then kept working that whole year. And then had a connection in small town Unity, Saskatchewan with Red Fazer. His dad coached me, and then
The Golden Ret. Yeah, there we go.
the Golden Rats. And then next thing I know, and I got a text saying, "What are you doing playing men's league?" kind of thing. And next thing you know, I'm playing for the Bulls in the 2021 shortened season, and then I'm playing PBA.
So there is some blessings in disguise that come through all that stuff because then you get
Oh
to
yeah,
play in a really decent league out here. Like it was only the five. I think it was a 5-team league in 2021. They're first trying to get things going. It was still a really competitive league. There's no saying that it wasn't because it's a lot of the best baseball players in Canada were playing. So it's one of the leagues that was really open. Then you get to go and play for the. I won't call him the gruesome twosome over there at PBA, but for Ryan McDonald and Todd Hubka,
yeah.
what was your thought process going into there, and how did it develop you that first year when things were getting back into normal as those guys can get over there?
Yeah, so it was good. I was very new to the program. I played a lot of baseball with people that had been through the program. I was lucky enough to have some people on PEI actually when I was back there training a little bit, and they kind of gave me a rundown of the do and do nots, and this is the standard, and this is what you need to expect kind of thing, and that really helped me a lot going into it, and then kind of just obviously being the new guy, just knowing that I'm not going to know a lot of what's going on, but I need to learn it kind of thing, and having that open mindset of I'm probably going to get yelled at. That's the way of the road, but I gotta learn from it, right?
Yeah. You like it's a different it's a good environment. Like you learn how to play the game and you learn how to I think you learn a little bit more growing up than you do about baseball a little bit too. It's one of those, and it's not a bad thing. 'Cause eventually, we all got to kind of grow up someday. I don't know how much we could grow up around here. That's one of
Yeah,
those
exactly.
things. But you like you say, growing up, and you meet some friends you're gonna have for life. And there's one guy he kind of somehow, some way, I don't know how this all came about, became your own personal catcher. I don't want to make you sound like a diva, like you had your own personal catcher, but it's just the way it turned out. And on top of so Tegan Toronto, and I know Tegan through American Legion Baseball here in Lethbridge, and then catching because I umpire in the CCBC over there, so I got to know Tegan a little bit. Tell me about your first off your on the field relationship with Tegan, and then being your personal catcher. I don't want, like I said, you're not a diva by any means, but just the way it turned out, and then your friendship with him off the field.
Yeah, so with me and Tegan, we're kind of different sides of the team a little bit. On the fall, my first year there, kind of knew of him, kind of just a lot of bodies, a lot of new fresh faces, and then by the time season rolled around, it was the chemistry was there. It was just I liked throwing to him, and I think he liked catching me. I don't know. I get a little bit weird when I pitch, so that could be a question for him you need to answer. But um, and then off the field, we hit it off pretty quick. Like a lot of similarities, got along really well together. Didn't really fight or anything. And then I was fortunate enough to actually live with his family and on the south side there by Lethbridge College, and got to meet Wayner and Tanya, and just formed a really good bond. And it was the recipe for success. Put it that way.
No, Tegan, he seems a little bit crunchy on the. I don't want to even say crusty. He's crunchy. There's a big
Yeah.
difference. He's a little on the outside. I quite like Tegan a lot. You get done your second season with the Bull, your first season with the Bull, your second season with the Bulls, and you play the 2023 season with the PBA, and you had a fantastic year, all conference and on and on. The accolades went. You guys came up a little bit short in the final there. What was your thoughts about your memories of that season and how that all turned out for you guys there in Lethbridge?
Yeah. So that the PBA season was kind of a heartbreaker. I felt we had every single piece of the puzzle, just didn't put it together, kind of thing. We had the players, had the pitchers, had the hitters. Just that's baseball, though, right? You just got to be better than that team on that night, and we just weren't the best team that night, and that happens. And with the Lethbridge Bulls season, I found it went really well. Had a good group of guys. Really got back to the Lethbridge Bulls way of baseball compared to the previous season. But yeah, it was good overall. Lots to learn from. I feel like personally, I progressed as a pitcher and a person, and made a lot of good connections. Like you said, that's probably gonna be lifelong.
You get to then you find yourself heading down to middle of America somewhere in Missouri at Williams Woods. How did that? Like I'm always mesmerized. There's so many schools, right? There's a lot. Like and
Oh,
guys who want to play and who are good enough, not just want to, but are good enough to play. There's so like how do you just pick a name out of the hat and Williams Woods is where I'm going now. Like how does it all? I'm always like every story is different. And what's your story getting to William Woods?
so my story was actually I walked in for my one-on-one, the famous PBA one-on-ones
Oh
with
gosh,
Coach
scare
Ryan,
me. I'm never part of
Ryan
them.
Mack, and I tucked my tail between my legs, went in there and just kind of talked it out. And they're like, "What's your plan for the future?" And I said, "Well, I really do enjoy my time here. Like, I know you guys have that, like kind of a personal or a team rule of 2 years and move on kind of thing to keep it the Canada's JUCO kind of thing." And they kind of just said, "Well, we have a pretty good contact. Coach Cabinets here actually played for the Lethbridge Bulls way back in his day, and that connection has stayed because Ryan McDonald coached him. So it was just, he's like, yeah, I've got a player that is now coaching over there that is in need of an arm, and I was an arm. So I was like, well, if we can make it work, we can make it work." Hopped in a phone call, chatted it out, and I mean, now I'm here.
It's crazy how quick it actually comes about. Like you're not really sure, and then all of a sudden, a couple phone calls later, like, oh, I guess I'm going here now. Like it's just,
Yeah, because
it's it's
like you
weird
said,
how it turns out that way.
yeah, like you said, I walked in there and it was just kind of like everybody's story is different, and mine wasn't even supposed to be a story. And now it's a, now I'm my second year in Missouri.
What was your first year like down there? Like in comparison to PBA, obviously it's a different caliber of baseball, different level. But what was your first like? What was your first year like down there in Missouri playing baseball?
I liked it a lot. It was very similar structure, like very like dress code. You got to make sure you're on time, like taking care of stuff on and off the field, public image. So I didn't have much of a tough time transferring on that side of it. It was more just kind of the way of baseball, a little bit more blue collar at PBA and grindy as you will, and it's a little bit more modern day baseball here. And that was probably the only challenge I really had, was getting away from the "I want to kill you" baseball attitude. Instead of, I'm going to eat your lunch or you're going to eat mine, so I may as well eat.
There's nothing more modern than what they got going on around here. That's a funny way of putting it. I've never heard the Prairie Baseball Academy described that way, but I'm sure I'll pass it on to Mr. Hubkin. We can have a little laugh about that. Last summer, you went to West Coast League and Edmonton Riverhawks, different league altogether, more flying and higher, like just lots of different things. Not small town Saskatchewan teams. I'm not there's anything wrong with that, but just a different level of baseball. What was your thoughts in your one season with the Riverhawks up there in the West Coast League?
I liked it a lot. It was good. Got to meet a lot of different people and a lot of different levels of players, a lot of Division I guys, and honestly, it was really great for me just to learn from them, because that's a caliber of baseball that I'm not at, and I would love to be at that, but that's just not me, and I know that. So I took the opportunity to learn and see what they're doing differently from me, and I can definitely tell you there's a reason why I'm not there, because of the stuff they're doing, and I'm trying to implement that now to kind of get back and get to that point. And just Lethbridge has always been in my heart. I wanted to get a little taste of something new, but I feel like Lethbridge is the right place for me.
Well, when I said earlier, like when I first heard that you were going up to Edmonton, like I've been around you for a number of years and behind the plate and just around the park and talking to you, and I knew you were the kind of pitch that give me the ball, I'll take it every 10 days in a row. It doesn't matter to me. I want to get out there and pitch, and whether I'm behind the bullpen dugout to wherever, having a little upchuck from whatever, just from nerves or dehydration or where it might have been, you're always a gamer ready to go no matter what. And so I was always thinking, man, he should just come back to Lethbridge. He's appreciated here. But I understand why you would go, and to see what you need to improve on, because that's the only way you're going to improve is if you keep doing the same thing over and over. That's the definition of insanity. So kind of like what we do around here sometimes. But to go, but I thought, you know what? Like I'm happy that you were going, but I was sad to see, and I knew that Edmonton wouldn't have known exactly what they were getting from Max Benton. Was that kind of the thing that you were thinking as well?
Not too much. I feel like a lot of the under evaluation was on my own performance part. Kind of had threw close to 80 innings for the Owls here last summer. Going into it, just didn't really feel like I was throwing at my max capacity and my best. And then finally, after a while, with a little bit of work with the pitching coaches there, and kind of getting along with the guys and minor tweaks and stuff like that, I got back to how I usually pitch, and like you said, appreciated. And then I feel like towards the end of it, I finally got around to that point. But at this end of the day, I wasn't the first guy on the list, and that's just baseball.
Yeah, everybody has their guys, and that's just the way things go.
Yeah.
I'm sure around here, there's guys have their guys, and he does, well, this guy, he said, no matter what, Nolan Ryan could show up, and if Josh doesn't like him, well, that's just the way it goes. It's just kind of not doesn't like him.
Yeah.
there's just a pecking order. College season this year, you guys get going in about, I think I read in about 10 days, get your season going a little bit. What's on the road for Max Benton and the Owls this year?
Yeah, so we're about 9 days out from going down to Mississippi at Blue Mountain there. Got a pretty quality matchup there, and we're looking for kind of a bounce back season. We finished 500 last season, and that was not the standard set, and we kind of felt like we played ourselves out of that, and we have the potential to win a lot of games. It's more the fact, can we do it? So honestly, just doing what we're supposed to, taking care of it.
Then you're going to get done there with Williams Woods, and you'll end up here whenever. Like, it's just you guys want to go obviously as long as you can. And
Exactly.
what are you looking forward to most about getting to your old stomping grounds here at Spit Stadium with Lethbridge Bulls? But what's on Max's Max or David III? Sorry, what's on David III's list once you get back here? What are you looking forward to the most?
I'd have to say probably going to Tegan's house and getting some of Tanya's Korean beef. I need some of that home cooking again.
Home cooked meals. There we go. I got a three quick. And I was supposed to ask, and I don't know how this came about, and it's none of my business. Or if you don't want to tell me, but this little guy that's going to be he sits in the back here. I'm not sure exactly what he does throughout the day, but he's about 5'3", maybe about 250 pounds. Now he's not playing. Kind of let himself go a little bit, a little carbon pick. I was supposed to ask you about Alpine beer for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what was behind the story, but what's the story behind Alpine beer and the toast of the Rockies or something? I don't even know.
Yeah, so that was from the opening barbecue when I was kind of a late sign to the Lethbridge Bulls the COVID year. Coach Mac called me, and I was on the roof in the middle of small town Unity roofing, trying to make a buck, and Coach Matt called me and said, "Hey, got a spot in the Lethbridge Bulls here. Just need somebody to eat some innings." And I said, "Well, I can definitely do that for you." After taking a quick looking around and saying I still had 15 shingles to carry up the roof, I said, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good."
Yeah, I'm done.
So fast forward, got to my first practice, threw a little bit, talked to the guys, and then there was kind of a barbecue, and I was like, all right, new guy on the block. All these guys have been accustomed to each other for a while now, because it was a lot of Vauxhall guys or people that already played Bulls, and I was kind of the odd man out. And I mean, everybody likes beer a little bit now and then, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go to the store, get some 48 packs. So I noticed we were out of beer for the barbecue, so I went over and I went to just down the road and looked at the very back right corner and said 2 for a deal, and it was like $50 for 2 24s. And I said, well, that's one way to go about it. And it was Alpine beer, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I love Alpine too.
I love Alpine beer now.
Yeah, it's a beer of the homelands right there in the East Coast. So
yeah, taste first or price first, taste second.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
I was still buying it, and I mean, it was out of principle. It was more for the thought. It wasn't for the taste.
That's fantastic. Alpine beer. We'll have to hoist a couple once you get here to Lethbridge in the spring. Last year we started this thing. You weren't around. We started this thing. I'm sure you heard about it and seen it all over everywhere. We'd have this thing called the Charlton Hill 3 Easy Question on the Patio. Real simple stuff. You can't get them wrong. I'm sure you know how it goes. Are you ready to go, Max?
Yes, I am.
3 easy questions. Number 1, worst bus trip. Vancouver Island with PBA or Fort McMurray with the Bulls?
I will have to say Fort McMurray with the Bulls, mainly on the principle I had food poisoning on the way back one year.
Oh, really?
And that was by far the most treacherous experience of my life.
Nothing to do with Alpine beer, I'm sure.
No.
No,
Directly food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
No.
2, who would win in a fight to the finish? You or Tegan?
Probably me.
I probably agree with you. Tegan seems like he would just give up. A little bit of effort, and that's it. I'm done.
See, Coach, I have a different story. I already lost to him, so.
And last one. What's better, Alberta beef or PEI seafood?
It's a tough question. I'm going to have to go with seafood.
There's times, yeah, like because the beef, whatever, turns into a hot dog or
yeah, exactly.
Right. So no, the seafood you don't get it enough, and you probably miss having that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, Max, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, your training, and everything you got going on in school. I'm sure school and Alpine beer is a very, very important part of your world down there. But no, thanks for doing this a lot, and we look forward to seeing you in the spring. and see if we can't bring another championship back to Lethbridge.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, Max. We'll talk soon. Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks once again for Max, or should I say David III, for joining us here on the Bullhorn Lethbridge Bulls baseball report. Just a great guy. Looking forward to maybe having a conversation, maybe an adult beverage after the season is all done, and having a few laughs with Max and talk about baseball and how things all just come full circle. It's always a good time to catch up with these guys, and you get to know them off the field as well as on. Max alluded to something that we've kind of hinted about a little bit. I haven't really got into the nuts and bolts the whole thing, but the Rural Roots Baseball Classic going to be held in Oyen, Alberta. The game between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls is on June the 8th. It's a Sunday afternoon, I think at 3:30 first pitch, so we can fit a few other events and have the team travel up, because the team travels or plays the Gulls and the Bulls play on the 7th, the night before, here in Lethbridge, and so they give you guys a few hours to sleep in, then make the way up to Oyen. It's about a 3-hour trip from Lethbridge. But what's happening is the Oyen Community Baseball Festival is happening on the 6th and 7th, and then the game is on the 8th. But the whole weekend is centered around the community of Oyen and baseball and the rural roots, and the upcoming how baseball is. It comes from these small towns. There's no getting around that. And it also is going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Oyen Pronghorns winning the SMBL title back in 1995. PBA legend coach going to the Hall of Fame next week. Todd Hubka was part of that team. I know a number of the guys who were on that team. Actually, Akil Samuel played for the Oyen Pronghorns. Bill Wolstenholme was a friend of mine. He went up to Oyen for the summer, and he was a quasi-professional. A lot of good names that'll be coming out of the woodworks to go up to Oyen to be a part of that. So it'll be the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls playing on the 8th at 3:30. But the event, there's going to be a reunion, pancake breakfast, barbecues, golf tournament, movie in the park, kids camps, festival, fair game, like all kinds of different food, like just stuff that's going to really bring the community and hopefully people from surrounding area come to Oyen for the weekend and get and make it a really big event. The game will be it's going to be a game that counts in the standings, so that's still very important. But the festival itself is going to overshadow the game, and then how it's all going to play. There's going to be minor baseball games that are being played on the same fields, video boards, on and on it goes. So it's going to transform the city of the town of Oyen into the center of baseball for the weekend in early June. It's going to be a hectic time for the Lethbridge Bulls. The season gets going obviously on the 31st of May, but then the 5th, 6th, and 7th, there's home games for the Bulls. 2 against Edmonton, yet to be named Edmonton team. We got to get on that. 2 with Edmonton, and then 1 home game with Sylvan Lake, and then a road/home game where the Bulls will be the home team up in Oyen for the Oyen Rural Roots Baseball Classic. So it should be a lot of fun getting that all straightened out. Tickets will be, the information will be out later. I think mid-February, we're having a press conference up in Oyen. Lots of stuff going on, the sponsorships and things and stuff. It's all behind the scenes, but Kevin announced that Kevin Kavami, president of the Bulls, and he announced a few weeks back, so that should be a lot of fun on the Rod Peterson show. But now we're making it official. This thing is a go. There was some I don't want to say there were some hiccups along the ways, but there had to be some details ironed out a little bit before we could make the official announcement. So you heard it here first on a Wednesday morning here at Spitz Stadium to talk about the Rural Roots Classic. So should be a lot of fun. Thanks once again to Max for joining us here on the Bullhorn Lethbridge Bulls baseball report. Like I said, make sure you swing by Spitz Stadium once you hear this or see this and take a look at the new edition. It's pretty cool. Kind of give them my look, it just looks cool. Anyway, it's one of them, a baseball nerd, and I'm like a little kid in a candy store right now. So a lot of fun. Thank you very much for listening to the Bullhorn Lethbridge Bulls baseball report. Horns up, everybody, and we will talk to you all again very soon.
The Lethbridge Bullhorn is all things regarding the Lethbridge Bulls of the Western Canadian Baseball League. The Bullhorn has the latest news regarding the Bulls with interviews with current and past players, signings, game recaps, and updates on all the events happening at Spitz Stadium. The Bullhorn is your place for all things regarding baseball in Lethbridge. Get your horns up with the Bullhorn, the Lethbridge Bulls baseball report.